You're listening to the Ask Drone U podcast. You ask, we answer your drone questions. Whether you're here to turn your passion into profit or you simply fly for fun, we're a community of learners and teachers who aspire to achieve greatness. We are
Drone U.
Hey everyone, welcome to another awesome episode of Ask Drone U. My name is Paul, and I'm here with Shaun Taylor. Welcome, bud.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so if you don't know about Shaun, he's an FPV racer, but the difference between him and most other people, well, Shaun does this full time. And the only thing he likes doing more than FPV racing is beating 14-year-old boys in FPV racing.
Actually, well, I'm trying to figure that part out. It's that part is the part that's eluding me so far. Them kids are good, man.
Yeah, well, they got a lot more time to practice, right?
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
What got you into FPV racing? I mean, what was it?
Yeah, so what got me into FPV racing was my buddy Sean Stanford. He owns Solid Tech Performance, and he's like a big race car guru. He's always just been into like the cool, like he's done the airsoft, paintball, RC, like the trucks, buggies, on road. And I've never really done it, but I've always been, fascinated. I remember when I was in the fire department, I put together my little 8-scale buggy, and I would just kind of jump the hills in the back with the guys. But he'd always say, "Bring that thing out and race," and I'm like, I don't want to come out and beat all you, so no, I'm not, because I was pretty bad at it. Like honestly, I was terrible. So anyway, he sent me the link over of the French guys, in the forest doing the drone racing stuff, and he's like, "Dude, we got to do this." And I looked at it, and I kind of looked at it sideways, and I was like, I don't really like it. It looks kind of boring. I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do it.
You thought it was boring?
Yeah, I was like, because I knew how bad I was at just the buggies and the truggies. I was like, flying? Probably not. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not fast. I've always been fascinated with flying. Like my dream job always has been like to be like a Red Bull pylon racer. But I'll never be able to do that. So
maybe you'll be able to do it with a quadcopter.
Yeah. Well, I mean. So anyway, he got me started, and after about 3 months, I was still probably the worst person on this planet. I was still in a stabilization mode, could not get through a goalpost, like terrible. I was terrible, and he loved to harass me on and let me know how terrible I was. So
just poking.
Yeah, and so it just, I don't know, man. It created this crazy drive, and I get so obsessive compulsive when I put my mind to something. And it's anything in my life. Like I just do, and I have to perfect it. I have to perfect it. I have to get better, and nothing's ever good enough, And I just kept on, and my goal was just to beat him because he just beat me at everything else, And finally, I beat him, and we have a great time with it. But
that's awesome.
Ever since then, I've just been hooked.
It sounds like a sibling thing because in lacrosse, like the best players are always siblings.
Yeah,
they always had someone to play with. So I feel like that was your thing. You always had a competition.
Yeah.
So when did it finally move from learning to fly pylons and racing around those to actually turning this into, hey, I'm going to quit my job at the fire department and now I'm going to travel the country and just race all the time?
Well, so here's the thing. With when I was in the fire department, the main reason I had to quit was because I was unable to attend all these big races.
Oh.
I had leave, but I couldn't really use it because we have there's a specific amount of firefighters are allowed time off, and I could never get it off. In trades, I was just getting backed up, and I realized that I can't do both. If I want to take this to the elite level, and it was a hard decision. And the opportunity came along for me to get paid to start flying and racing. And
is there anyone you want to say thank you for that for?
Oh yeah. Simon and Toby know who they are. That's it, Hobby King. And now thank you to Trey Player and Mike. I'm with Airviews now. So
oh, cool.
Yeah, it's just great people. And there's so many people. Scott from Racecraft has always been awesome. Bruce Dolly, he owns You Buy a Drone.
Oh,
just good people. But it's not just that. There's so many people that I'm not sponsored by that have just they've been so supportive, and there's no way I could have done anything to this point without that support, and I understand that, and I plan on just paying it all forward, and I try my best. one thing I'll make sure I do is I always keep myself grounded.
And that's one thing I like about you, but I also like the fact that you have a personality. You are a goofball at heart.
Yes.
Except when someone's, gets on your racing field and then starts going crazy like they did at the park the other day, and you sit there and you calm them down, and you're like the adult of everybody there, even though it's a field of adults, you're the adult. But you can always calm someone down. And I think that's probably what your sponsors enjoy about you, is that not only are you a racer, but you're ethically, you're ethical and you're professional. It's having that humble spirit because you've got a true drive to perfect that craft.
Yeah, and if there's anything that I want to make a mark at is teaching the kiddos, teaching the next generations coming in. This is our sport to kind of mold, and the way that I see it is I'd like to see it more graceful instead of people kind of throwing their hands up and being looked at kind of like I don't know, like hoodlums, because it's unfortunate that a lot of press has looked at drones as negative, and people flying drones are bad and they're spying and they're doing things illegal, and it's unfortunate. There's a very, very small handful of people that have done things that they shouldn't be doing, but it just makes us all look bad, and it's really important to me to teach people, this is a great, great sport, and we could turn it into something that we know it all can be, and it's becoming that. But there's a time and place to goof around, and 99% of the time I'm goofing around and having a good time. But if somebody's upset, I'll definitely bring myself back down and try to work with them and show them that we're actually a good bunch of people, and all we want to do is just have a good time, but we're going to do it safely and abide by the rules and
be responsible.
Yeah, but we're just going to be responsible.
Not
exactly.
buzz little kids' heads or dogs.
No.
Although there is a dog out here at the field. His name is Raven. He loves to chase the Inspire around. So
it's okay.
And the lady literally asks, like, "Will you take him for a lap?" Like,
there you go. It's okay. It's okay as long as you know that you could do it safely. Shoot, there's nothing wrong with it, right?
But it sounds like your dream is to get into like kind of STEM education, right, and build it up from the ground level up.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll have that opportunity here shortly?
I don't know. Right now I'm focused on just being the best that I could be and perfecting all of my mistakes, which I know I'll never will, but it's the pursuit of that drives me. It's I don't have anybody in specific that I want to beat at races.
It sounds like a Lexus commercial. It's the pursuit of perfection.
Well, that's what it is, because there's always going to be the spirit fingers jittering, and you're just going to not be perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm always trying to beat myself yesterday. When I look at videos, and I'm always getting upset because, to normal, people who are starting to get into it might look fast and smooth and this and that, but I could see all of the micro corrections and imperfections in the flight. So I try to really focus on those things and not so much the things I did well. It's just the way that I get better. It's not negative. It's not negative criticism or even constructive criticism. It's just learning from mistakes. That's all.
Awesome. I love that. And one of the things I want to talk to you about is, how you practice, but you're coming into Drone U. You're going to be teaching a class about how to fly, how to build a racer. Do you think you'll have an effect on shaping the community at large through that?
I hope so. I hope I don't get kicked out of here and booed off the audio stage or whatever for being a moron.
It's not a big room to get kicked out of.
I'm not the smartest person in the world. I don't build the perfect racing quad. I know the basics, and I want to try to keep things as basic as possible. And then the people who want to get more technologically advanced in this stuff they could.
But isn't it? I mean, this whole I'm not too technical. I think of kind of like the engineer types, right? But it's never the engineer types that are getting caught up in racing. They're always the ones designing the birds.
Yeah, they're the behind the scenes doing the real. They're doing a lot of hard work.
Oh yeah, no, agreed, 100%. Yeah. But that being said, what I'm hearing from you is that hey, I'm not very technical, but what I do have is this drive and passion to better myself. I'm not just going to go out there and have fun. When I go out there and practice, I'm putting two pylons left and right of each other, and I'm literally going to rip that thing 100 battery packs, and I'm going to find the right line.
Exactly.
And that's that deliberate practice model. We've talked about that before. We talked about it yesterday. We've talked about it on the podcast. But it's about finding those small nuances, those small micro corrections, and fixing them. And that's what it takes to be a very good pilot. And go ahead, tell us. You're ranked.
I don't even know what I'm ranked. They have these strange ranking systems from race group to race group. I don't know.
Multi-GP and all that.
I hold some multi-GP records, which is kind of subjective. You can set up a course and, it's great. It's a great idea. It lets people kind of race each other all over the world. I held a couple of those records for a while. My buddy Brain Drain, I just found out yesterday, beat one of my times by like 0.02 seconds.
Wow.
Which is awesome. I love the guy, but I'm going to come after him again. Just not anytime soon.
It's that pushing forward.
Yeah, because I haven't done them in about 6 months. So the record stood for a little while.
But you've been racing a lot in the last few months,
I have,
right?
yeah. Well, I've been hitting a lot of overseas events.
Gotcha.
And it seems like after DR1 when I got to race Banny, Luke, kid is freaking amazing. But I
is
realized,
he a nice kid to talk to? Everyone wants to know that.
Yeah. Luke he's full of personality. Like it doesn't matter who you are, you're gonna love the guy when he shows up. He's just
a little kid with a British accent.
Yeah, he's not even. He's a very, very talented young man. That's what it is. And he knows how to have a good time. He knows how not to take it too serious. And he knows how to be a positive role model too, because he has a lot of kids looking up to him.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that. He's just one of those really big names that's doing the sport right. But at DR1, it wasn't just him. Gary Kent was there, and he's known as Justice FPV. If you want to look him up, he's incredibly smooth and incredibly fast. Just as fast as Luke, just as fast as me, faster. These guys are faster than me, and I realized there that I can compete with these guys at this top level. But it's going to take more. It's going to take my full dedication, and that's when I realized I no longer practice. I train for specific things. So, for example, what we were talking about, setting up 2 gates, that's it, 2 simple gates, and learning how to perfect a full speed hairpin left and learning how to perfect a full speed hairpin right. That's it. That's what I'll focus on all day. And a lot of people don't find that fun because, let's face it, it's not really for fun. It's to get better. It's to get better, and also now it's your job. It is. So I take it serious.
Yeah, and that's the thing is when you take it up to that next level, it's and this is a lot of my friends. I played lacrosse in high school and college, and then I played in the Czech Republic for a while. And I had friends who played D1 and then pro, and I never did the whole D1 thing because of one thing. My buddy says, "You know what, dude? You lose the college effect.
Yeah.
It becomes a job. You are there at 5 a.m. till 9. You go to class, you go to lunch, you go back. Yeah, and you're there all the time. And that's why." Really, it's so important, whatever you choose to do in life, that it's your passion first. Because if you do want to become the best, if you do want to be the most successful, it's going to take a lot of hours, a lot of sweat, a lot of time, but you're doing that.
It does.
So in the last few races, how have you done? Are you placing?
Yeah, so let's see. Let me just try to think back to the big ones. So I won I never won a single race up until XDC1.
Huh.
I tried.
When was that?
XDC1 was, it was about a year ago now. Maybe a year and a month, somewhere in there. But
since then, you've won a U.S. championship.
No. So I won, I've won XDC1, then I won the Multi-GP Championship, which was the U.S. Multi-GP Championship.
So, U.S.
same
champion.
Thing. Yeah. Whatever. It wasn't Drone Nationals,
You're
but it was the same thing.
You're a little humble there, dude.
So then I came back and I won XDC2. I then moved over to, I was invited to Australia. Hobby King flew me and my buddy Sean, the same guy that I started with, he flew us both to Australia.
That's awesome.
For D1 Drone Nationals. And there's a big, long video if you guys want to look it up. It's on Hobby King Daily News. You could just type in NYTFURY Nationals and I'm sure you'll find it. It's a cool video. It's like 20 minutes long and it really covers the whole event well.
Wow.
I won that, and then I moved up to the French Drone Nationals a month later. I came in TQ by quite a bit of time, and I raced some of the fastest people I've ever seen in my life. That's where I got to meet Gary Kent for the first time, and still up to this point, that was probably the best race of my life with that guy. I'd never had anybody pull away from me like that, and I had to go catch up, and I caught him, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. We had some, and I ended up getting the finals, and unfortunately I crashed out on like the 3rd or 4th turn. Just couldn't keep up. I just smacked into the ground. I was kind of using some new equipment that I wasn't familiar with. It's basically KISS flight controller, and I didn't know how to tune it all that well. And so I was fighting that all weekend. I wasn't aware of it until after I came home and figured out that it wasn't just my terrible flying. It was actually me fighting the flight controller for control. So
let me ask you this. What do you think it's going to take to get more people interested in FPV? I mean to get the audience there, because let's face it, a sport really doesn't take off unless there's an audience there to absorb it and to really enjoy it. And we've seen that through DR1, right? With the YouTube video Miami and going around all that. But what is it going to take for it to become an immersive experience?
Well, I think what we're kind of missing, and everybody knows it. It's unfortunate, but there's too much downtime at the race. And when you're live streaming that, people are just sitting there looking at a blank computer screen. No action, nothing's going on. It's not exciting. And we've kind of gotten sidetracked with using freestyle as kind of a show, and it takes an awful lot of time. And I see a lot of people walk away. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate for the freestylists, because I understand now just how graceful and how hard it is to be a good freestyle pilot. And most people can't see what they see, so they just see a quad doing flips and stuff in the air, and they kind of lose interest. It's hard to see, it's hard to tell what's going on. And they waste a lot of time with that, and people, they just they get bored.
Yeah.
You want to see racing, but what people need is to be immersed in it. They need to see what we see. That's really the only way they're going to get fascinated, because we're on board. We're flying now. We're inside of a pod racer. So the thing with the live streaming is I think we need to get away from trying to live stream it and get more to what we've seen with say DRL and DR1, and taking high quality footage,
making it a production.
Yeah, making it and just squashing it down into a 15, 20 minute long video of the whole event as a whole. And it's exciting. You'll sit down there and you'll watch it. But most people can't commit 6 to 8 hours to just sit there and watch a race. I couldn't do it, and I love this stuff, and I get bored.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Let me ask you this. All right, Part 107 is coming out on Monday. Well, actually, this podcast is coming out the day that's happening. So technically I should be taking a test in a few hours, but we're recording this a few days earlier. So
cool.
Now, what do you think about Part 107 and the new drone license in regards to FPV racing?
Yeah,
because the FAA has really talked about the model versus commercial. It's no longer hobby versus commercial. So what do you think about all that?
Oh, honestly, it's a new sport. We're in this trying to figure out the new rules and regulations. I don't see a problem with anything personally. Sit down, do a little bit of research, take a test, be a grown-up about it. It's, if you're going to be professional, then be professional. It's really not a big deal to dedicate a little bit of time and learn about these rules and regs. Take a test, get certified.
Yeah.
It's just not, to me, it's not a big deal.
Well, see, we're still waiting to hear what the FAA is going to say about this, but they have very clearly defined commercial intent. So AMA has come out and said, no, they're not going to have to get it. But FAA said, well, hold on a second, commercial intent is commercial intent.
Yep.
So we're waiting to hear from, aviation attorneys back on this. We're waiting to hear back on the FAA.
Sure.
But I agree with you. I think just from a safety, but also a community perception of drones is why every racer should have to get a Part 107 license. And I mean that because, if they understand about wind and weather and KP index and, other factors that could cause them problems or where they could potentially hit someone else, well, wouldn't that information then be valuable to the sport, but also the community and also the perception of the sport in the community? No matter what, knowledge is... it's invaluable. It's like school. Education is there's no price on it. Like it's no matter what, it's going to do good in the end. So educate yourself a little bit more. Yeah. It's just not difficult to do. Like any professional racer or anyone who's intending on becoming professional already knows what kind of dedication this takes. And I honestly don't see a problem with anybody who really wants to take this professionally serious. They're not going to have a problem taking a test. They're not going to have a problem learning these rules and regs. Yeah. What do you think it would do to the sport? You think it would have any negative effect?
No,
do you think
it
would push people out?
No way. And the thing is, the sport's here. I think it's here to stay no matter what. And if it takes somebody getting in trouble, well, that's what it's going to take. You know, it's unfortunate, but it might be a necessary evil.
Yeah, I think that may be what happened. All right, last question. I know we've been here for a little while.
Sure.
In your class, is there anything that someone could be really excited about? I'm sure like this, in the last few days, you've been like, oh man, I could do this, I could do that. Is there anything that you're really focused on, you're stoked about, you want people to know? What's a good reason to come take the class when it's available? Which, by the way, it'll be sometime. We're actually going to be taking about a month break in between when we actually film this class. So
Yeah. So I mean, personally, I want to make this fun for everybody because I'm not the serious person. So I'm going to keep it as easy and straightforward, as simple as possible. So anybody who's brand new, who just wants to try racing, can build one of these and fly it and go crash it and fix it and then go crash it again and then fix it. It'll be no problem. You'll get it. You'll understand the basics. And if you want to take it to the next level and start getting deep into PID tuning, into loop times, and the super high-end electronics, by all means. And I'll provide you some links of some guys that I'm friends with that are really, really good at that stuff that can get you on the right track. So
that's awesome. And hopefully maybe down the line we can do those videos with you as well. So
sure.
I think having that personality is really important for retention, like retaining material and whatnot. So, well, Shaun, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate it big time, man. Thanks, guys.
And guys, if you want to check out his class, it will be available. It's going to take a couple months for us to get it all together, but I'm really excited to have Shaun on board because, well, he's an Albuquerque native. He lives down the street from Drone U.
I do.
Another professional drone racer in our community. It's like we are becoming organically the drone community.
It's awesome. We have such great talent here in Albuquerque, and just here in the Southwest. There's so many huge names, and we're kind of all coming up together. So it's cool.
It's cool. So I have a theory. What do you think it is about the Southwest? Why we have so many good pilots out here? I'm trying to put my finger on it.
It's got to be the elevation.
I was going to say the weather. Because we get so many sunny days.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. It's ever since I've grown up and I've been a competitive athlete, and I've seen some amazing talent come out. Just Holly's a great example.
Holly Home.
John. Cool. And I grew up with a guy, Bobby Newcomb. He was a quarterback for the Cornhuskers, Nebraska, and just one of the greatest athletes ever come out of New Mexico. Ended up going pro for a while. I've been personal friends with some amazing people that have come out of Albuquerque.
That's awesome.
I don't know what it is. Elevation.
You say elevation, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, and every person that comes through here, I have to say, your battery times are going to say, 30 minutes on the box, but you're at elevation, so it's going to be like 18 to 20. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if the way that you train, you're actually training at a slower speed because of elevation and the barometric pressure and everything. And then when you go to lower elevation races, you're actually used to flying at a slower speed. So when you go lower, you're flying faster now.
I don't know.
Same kind of thing with running, right? I don't know if you know this, but 2 of the French Olympic runners live in Albuquerque.
Oh yeah.
And they run around Academy.
And I've ran with them, and it's funny that you say that because I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go, and they'll laugh because I'll get up next to them and I'm smiling, and they're like, oh, good job, and I'm like, 10 seconds later, I'm dead. Bye. And they're just like, okay, see you later. It's true. And I'm like, God, how are those guys so fast? And so, the girls too, like I'll be running and I'll just be dying. And I try to suck it up. And I'm not really tired. And they're just waving and sprinting like twice as fast as me and just not even breathing. Just no problem.
That's what we call motivation.
Yeah. No, but actually with our DA and so we have thinner air up here, right? Mm-hmm. So the blades actually spin through the air faster.
Drawing more energy.
I don't know what the difference is. I haven't actually, because I've gone to different elevations and I don't really feel a difference. Maybe there is. I know that it's hard to judge because when I go to a competition, I'm a lot more shaky because of the nerves. And it's hard to tell.
I can tell you with me, when I go down to California or Arizona, I can feel it in the bird.
For sure.
It's a lot more sensitive.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Especially the rotation. Not so much the roll and the pitch, but she will fly faster. I know for sure.
That's cool.
I've gotten an old Phantom 2 in Las Vegas, Nevada to go 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
And they're supposed to only go like 25. So I think it's all about pressure, elevation, and also humidity too.
Gotcha.
So
no, that makes sense.
Did you know your car gets better gas mileage when it's more humid out?
No. Really?
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, but how about power? Is it losing power? Because it's not using as much fuel, right?
I don't know about that one. That one's going over my head. I don't remember that from the article.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shaun, thank you so much for
man,
coming
it's been
on.
awesome.
Really
Heck
appreciate
yeah.
it.
I hope it didn't bore you guys, and I hope to make the class fun, and yeah.
It's definitely going to be fun, man. You have nothing to worry about.
Awesome.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening again. If you have a question, go to askadroneyou.com. We want to get Shaun in here just to talk to you, introduce himself, and really kind of talk about what he's going to be doing here at Drone U. You can follow Shaun on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm starting to upload all of my videos to AirViews, and it's under Night Fury FPV.
Gotcha. Okay.
I have a YouTube channel, and I'm going to start getting away from it a little bit. I think I'm just going to try to focus more on maybe Instagram, which is also Night Fury FPV, and AirViews.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely have to promote you on Instagram for sure. Anyway, guys, thanks again for listening. As always, my name is Paul, and this is Ask Drone U.
Bye, guys.